What's happening, guys, and welcome back to the Riot. So last night, me and some friends, uh, you guys know Chris Gore from Film Threat, obviously, Gary from Nerdrotic, Anna, that Star Wars girl. Anyway, a bunch of us went to a Star Wars burlesque show last night called The Empire Strips Back. Great show. Had an amazing time. A lot of adult beverages were had. And I got home pretty late. So if I seem a little punchy right now, please forgive me. I'm trying to kind of, bear through it. But I really want to talk about this topic today. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to just fight through whatever I'm fighting through right now and get this out. And that topic being race swapping. For those of you who know me, I despise this practice. And for those of you who don't know what it is, race swapping is basically when a studio takes an established character and either swap their race, their gender, or their sexuality. So a character who was traditionally white becomes black, traditionally, say, a man becomes a woman, traditionally straight becomes gay, right? Now, obviously, this isn't a new practice. Hollywood has been doing this for years. But now, in 2022, it seems more hot than ever to do this, right? Like most studios, I think today are using this as a cheat code. They're using it to basically not have to put effort or time or money into original black characters. What they're really saying is that only white characters have validity, right? And we should feel lucky to be able to play, to be the black Superman or, the black Batman, right? Because that's what they're going to be. They're going to be the black version of those characters. In this case right here, it's the Little Mermaid. Not that I'm going to be picking on this movie, specifically, but it's just the most current version of this dumbass practice.
Out of the sea, wish I could be part of that world.
That girl could sing. No, you know what? Haley Bailey, she's a decent actress. She has a great voice. I have nothing against her, right? Like, she didn't do anything that any other black actress wouldn't have done. Any other black actress would have taken that part. Right? I mean, they got to eat, right? They got to eat too. So it's not the talent that I'm coming down on. It's the people who hire them. Race swapping, besides being lazy and besides being completely pandering, it's just basically insulting. And they preach this thing about being inclusive and representation, right? They love that word, representation. And being diverse, right? Another word they love, diversity. They preach all that bullshit, right? But yet, when it comes to establishing original black characters, nope, it ain't happening. Because again, that takes effort. And what's even funnier is they think black folks should be grateful that we get to play these roles, right? Like, I've heard other black people tell me that I should be happy for the actors being able to, you know, play more complex roles, right? Like, like we should be grateful. that they're lending us these characters, right? And sure, I guess there is some progress being made, right? I mean, if you look, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago at film, I mean, really, Hollywood had no use for black folks. The only thing we were good for back in those times was to play the buffoon, the dancing Sambo, or the fat black mammy who took care of the white kids on the plantation, right? Like that's what we were good for. And then a few years later, we moved up. Now we're playing thugs and pimps. And if they really wanted to show us in a positive light, we were that struggling black family trying to make it out of the ghetto. One day, one black kid to be the first to graduate from high school and get that job at the supermarket. So it's funny watching Hollywood do this diversity dance right now, right? Have you noticed in the year 2022 how they're still making slave movies and how those slave movies always, always, for some reason, without fail, win awards? It's like Hollywood has this fetish of seeing black men get whipped, right? But they're all about diversity, right? Being inclusive, representation. I remember going to watch a movie. It was a premiere of a movie called Precious, and it was directed by Lee Daniels, who is a black director. He also directed a movie called Monsters Ball. And so Precious was his next project. And I went to the premiere with all of the big name celebrities, right? Like Will Smith, uh, Oprah was there, Mariah Carey was there. I mean, it was just an all-star show. And here I am, this film reviewer. So here I am sitting among the elites. And before the movie, there's this big circle jerk of people going on stage and congratulating Lee Daniels for such a brave movie, right? And if any of you have seen Precious, y'all know that was some bullshit. But I digress. So I'm sitting there watching the film, and the movie is about this obese black teenager who is constantly raped by her father and physically abused by her mother, bullied in school, just all the worst things that could happen, right? To anybody happens to her. But there was one scene in particular. There was one scene where on her way to school, and this is like, I don't know, 7 o'clock in the morning, eight in the morning, on her way to school, she stops at a fried chicken joint. A fried chicken joint at 8 in the morning, right? Okay. She goes in there into the fried chicken place and orders a bucket of fried chicken. A bucket of fried chicken for herself, right? There was no one else with her. That was just for her. So the guy behind the counter grabs her chicken, puts it on the counter, turns his back to ring it up. Precious grabs the bucket of fried chicken, bolts out the door, right? Steals the fried chicken she was so desperate to have, and eating it along the way as she's running. Like she couldn't even wait. She had to have that fried chicken right then and there. And I sat there amongst the elites, right? And I'm watching these very well-to-do white liberals, right? Like just tearing up and, you know, like it was basically sympathy porn, right? It was something to make them feel guilty about being white and about being rich. So I couldn't take much more. So I left. I not left, but I went outside just to get some air. And I look across and there's Will Smith. And me and him just looked at each other. We didn't say one word to each other. We just kind of looked at each other and both shook our heads because we knew that what we were watching was bullshit. It wasn't for us. It wasn't for us, right? But see, that's Hollywood. That's Hollywood. That's what Hollywood thinks of us. So when I hear Hollywood talking about diversity and inclusion and representation, right? It's a joke to me. It's a joke. They never gave a fuck about that before. But now what they're doing is they're taking characters that we love and fundamentally changing them, right? See, like I mentioned in a previous video, I'm a big comic book fan, huge. Like I said, I've been reading them since the 80s, okay? I know what these characters are. I know who they are. I know what they look like, right? I don't need Peter Parker to be black. I don't need Thor to be black. You get what I'm saying? I like those characters as they are. That's how I grew up reading them. I was fine with them being white. It would have been nice to have original black characters on top of that. But again, too much effort, right? So what you're saying is these characters you love, these characters you care about, we don't give a fuck that you care about them. We're going to change them because diversity is in, and diversity in 2022 is profitable. And then what they do is they get these morons to go to bat for them online, right? So if us fans have a genuine critique or a genuine issue with this shit, they're there to try to make us look bad, right? Like if you're white, especially, you get called all kind of racist, right? Or sexist, because the gender swapping. But right now I'm just talking about race. But you get what I'm saying, guys. When you have a genuine critique and complaint about a character you spent your time and money into, they got their drones out there ready to label you. I'm sure this Little Mermaid movie is going to do well, right? It will. Or at least it'll break even. I believe that. But why keep feeding this beast, right? Like, why keep giving these people money, our money, so that they can keep making this shit? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, they're not gonna stop. This is the beginning. Okay. This is the beginning. I guarantee you there's a lot more characters that they plan on race swapping. And they just expect us to eat shit and take it. Anyway, guys, I don't know how you feel about race swapping. Like I said, for me, it makes me grit my teeth. I despise it with every fiber of my being. I think, like I said, it's lazy at best and pandering at worst. And let me know how you think about what you feel about it. Maybe some of you guys are completely pro swapping. Some of you see no problem with it. And then some of you, I know for a fact, because I spoke to some of you last night, hate this shit just as much as I do. Anyway, y'all, I am beyond tired. Oh, and by the way, though, before I forget, Saturday, LA Comic Con is happening, and Film Threat, we are having panels, a bunch of panels, well, three, but It's going to be a good time. Come to all the panels. The final panel is really going to be hilarious because we are going to be talking about why Hollywood sucks. And I believe Anna, that Star Wars girl, will be on the panel with us. It's going to be a great time. There's going to be parties after. Just come through and by all means, come up to me, say hi. I want to meet all of y'all. I thank you so much for supporting my channel and just my crazy ass antics and rants. No, I really appreciate you guys so much. Do me a favor, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you're so inclined, share my videos with your friends. Like I said, leave comments because I love talking to you. And I will see you guys Saturday, hopefully. Take care.